I'm Eric Weems, Director of Financial Aid. I am 43 and originally from Delavan, Illinois.
Can you explain how the current economic crisis either currently affects students or may affect students generally?
As I said, it hasn't been as much this year, or hasn't been much different this year than it has been any other year. But it's going to start becoming cumulative, I think. The interesting thing may be that this may affect the incoming class for the fall of 2009, because you may have students who eliminate Loyola or some other high cost. The other thing has been, and it hasn't really been a case where students have been very negatively impacted, but we did see lenders who had previously been making what are called alternative student loans. These are the private educational loans that supplement the federal loan programs that students borrow. The alternative loans are, just funds made available by these banks for educational borrowing. And we saw a number of lenders choose to stop making these loans or to change the parameters to make them less advantageous. Somebody with less stellar credit were either being denied, required to have a cosigner. So there were students who may have been borrowing previously with an individual lender. That lender left the program, and so they had to seek a new lending institution.
So with fewer lenders to lend private loans to students, what are other policies Loyola is putting in place to help them get that financial need?
One of the things the university is looking at is continuing to do two things. One, make sure that we're making the university funds through scholarship and need-based grants available to students based on financial need, and also kind of watching and waiting. I mean, the experience has been that students have not been unable to get access to funds they need for loans. Obviously, if the university sees that that's a case, that students are having difficulty borrowing, and then there are opportunities for the university to bring in some additional funds to help out. Right now, there's been no need for that.
For students who currently receive financial aid from the university, will their current financial aid be adjusted much from their previous years due to the crisis?
Yeah, well, yes and no. Due to the crisis, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But the notion for financial aid kind of in general is that what you receive when you come into the university remains over the 4-year period of time. But one of the concepts that is always available in the process is our ability to recognize and adjust for special circumstances. So instances where a family has had an economic downturn, they've lost a job, lost bonuses, income significantly different, we do have the opportunity to go back and reevaluate. And so if that student or that student's family going into the year or during the year has something that occurs in that way, we can go back and reevaluate there.
Any other advice or steps a student can take to ensure their security?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that I always try to include in here is save. I mean, that's one of the things that this points out is that so often families have not chosen to take savings as an approach. Obviously, for the population that are here at Loyola, you really don't have a huge opportunity to save to cover all of your tuition. But at the same time, the opportunity to keep looking at the saving and trying to look at the ways that you can keep the other expenses, the expenses that are a little more tangent to the educational expenses. So, you're living off campus, you're not going to live on the Gold Coast perhaps, which I have had undergraduate students try to do that. And, you're going to be making some of those smart choices. Even students who have to borrow when they're at the university, I think that it's such an investment in your overall lifetime, the income potential, the growth that you have while you're here for what you would either pay or borrow. You're going to be paid off multiple fold. So don't be scared of the borrowing, but at the same time be as conservative as you can with the knowledge that things are going to change year to year.